Hi, my name is Krogstad, and I grew up in Santa Clarita, California. My father's a pastor, and I have done ministry most of my life. And but he really put a passion for ministry in my heart with missions. And I've always had a desire to go overseas and to do mission work. And wherever I go, I know that it's a mission opportunity to share the gospel or to encourage somebody in the faith of Jesus Christ. So I know that I have to go, and I love to go, and I want to go anywhere to spread the gospel. In 2011 to 2013, I went to a place called the Los Angeles Dream Center, and it was a leadership school where they taught us life skills and also how to just fall in love with Jesus. It was a great time there, 2 years of my life that I'll never, ever forget, and we did a lot of inner city mission work, so it helped develop me a lot to go out of my comfort zone, to engage homeless people, engage people that aren't loved, and develop prayer for me. It was a great place for me to really fall in love with people, so much more than I knew growing up. It just added on to the love of God, just really pushing me and pulling me towards what He was going to do next. So I knew I was going to go overseas to do mission work, but I didn't know where. And I had the choice of going to Ivory Coast, which is West Africa, or the Philippines. And while I was making my decision, God made it clear that I was going to go to the Philippines through dreams, through people's speaking without even knowing that I was wondering what they were going to say about the Philippines, but people were just bringing it up. And so it was amazing that the confirmation was so for sure that I was going to go to the Philippines, that it was only divine. And so in the process of that, I had to raise $21,000 to go to the Philippines. It was hard, but God really taught me His provision, because I needed $3,000 the last couple weeks, and it came in and even more. I had $5,000 to $6,000 come in, so it was $3,000 over. And it was so cool to watch Him say, when I want you to do something, it will happen. And so I don't have to worry, because He really just had it for me. And so when that happened, I knew that this was my next step in life, my next step in proclaiming His word, the next step for loving people into His kingdom, and just going to another country was what I've always wanted to do. So it was very exciting and scary at the same time. I was going to be so many miles away from home, nothing that I knew, but I knew that I was ready, because in my whole life, I was scared to do anything. I was scared of everything, and Christ has really boldened me up. He's given me so much courage now. So when I got to the Philippines, I kind of had a mindset that I need to do everything. I needed to preach the gospel wherever I went. I needed to read the Bible all day, every day, and just wherever I went, just be on mission. There's a couple reasons why. One, I was passionate about it. Two, I had people sending money for me to be there to do it, my partners, and there was just a big expectation that I wanted to please God. And so those aren't terrible, but it gave me a mindset that I was going to go hard for Jesus. And so when I was going there, I was trying to do everything and anything I could. Just from walking from my house to the church, I was looking for opportunities to share about Jesus. Since the country is 80% Catholic, a lot of my conversations were about the freedom of Christ, the freedom of His salvation, that it's through grace alone, through faith alone. So those conversations were coming up frequently, and so I was always thinking about who I can talk to next. And there was a big group of a gang next to the house that I was living in, and they play basketball every night. And so I would go and just talk with them and hang out with them. Became really good friends with them, and so it was really fun to not only play basketball with them, but looking for opportunities to talk about the gospel. We talk about Kobe Bryant, we talk about Jesus. It was like an everyday thing. And so while those days were going, I met a whole bunch of people. So many people that I was meeting and praying with, that I began to see and ask God, who are these people that I'm going to minister to? And so there was 3 men and one woman that God completely changed, and it's amazing. So I met a guy named Dave Carmona, and he's a young adult male, and we became really good friends, but before I even got to the Philippines, he was struggling with the Catholic Church and seeing some things that were corrupt there, seeing how legalistic it is. And so he began to read the Bible on his own, and he was hungry for it, but he had so many questions, but he didn't know what to do. And when I got there, God really used me to shape his theology into true doctrine of Jesus Christ. And so he was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. No one showed me this. And that's what started a whole discipleship of a whole year of discipling this man called Dave Carmona. And it was very tough, but very good at the same time, because he grew so much, and he loves Jesus now, and he's living for him, and he has his own computer store, and he dedicated it to Christ, and he's gotten baptized in the church too that I was going with. And so there's Dave. There's also another man named Rogelio Cosme. This man, he was in the church a long time before I got there, but he was a hypocrite. He was like a Pharisee type of man. He would judge people and try to be self-righteous, but he wasn't living for God at the same time. And so God brought me to him to show him how to really live out the Christian faith. And I had to rebuke him one time, and it wasn't very fun. He got mad at me. We didn't talk for like 3 months, but he's okay now, and he's back in the church, and he's doing really good. And there's also a man named Newton Padilla. And Newton Padilla, he was a man who died. He almost died in a earthquake back in like 3 years ago, I think it was. And so he was always wondering why he was still alive. And so in his questioning phase, God brought me to him, and I was telling him about who Christ is and why he's still alive. And he dropped to his face, and he's like, I need to know Jesus, and I want to follow him. And so I led him to Christ, and he has faith now, and he's going to church every Sunday. And so these 3 men, it was just really a huge blessing to come into this country and just like be with these people, and just like watch what God had for me. And there was one lady named Mama Nume. I walked into her house one day, and she was laying on the bed in pain. And I knew right when I saw her that I was supposed to share the gospel with her and see her every single day. I didn't see her every single day because I got lazy sometimes, to be honest. But I saw her every week, multiple times a week. I saw her a lot. And I prayed with her. I read the Bible with her. I encouraged her. I prayed for healing, prayed for restoration in her life, because she had Pott's disease. It messes up your back and numbs your back and paralyzes you for a little bit. But I knew that God was going to heal her. And it was so cool because before I got there, God already healed her from it. But her legs were so weak that they didn't think it was, they thought it was still the disease. And so while she was in pain, I was praying for her healing. She was already healing, but God, like, he blinded my eyes from the fact that she was needing to be healed because she was already healed. God was moving in her heart in that way, because since she was already healed, and they didn't know it because they can't go to the doctor, she thought that Christ was healing her. And he already did. But the crazy thing is that she had a kidney stone in her bladder that was really, really big, like that big. And it was so amazing because I was wondering, if that's it, then we can get her to the doctor and heal her. And so God, he was moving in this whole weird way of thinking that I thought she had some crazy disease, which she did, but not anymore. And then all she had was a little kidney stone that could be taken out because she couldn't walk anywhere. And she couldn't walk to her neighbor's house for like 3 years. And so we got the money to raise up the money to get her to the doctor. and we got the kidney stone out, and now she's walking everywhere. And it's so amazing because God really moved in a mysterious way to build up her faith and to spiritually heal her, and she got physically healed in a span of 1 year. And it was so amazing because God, he has such a way of showing himself and how improving himself as faithful and true, to where I thought that I was doing God's work. I thought that I was the one doing everything. But quickly, he brought me down through many hard trials, many hard things, many things like getting sick or a lack of confidence or thinking that I was going to die in the Philippines, team problems, people lying to me, so many trials I was going through. God really brought me down to a level to where he's saying, you don't do anything, Mark. Your sufficiency is myself. And he showed me that through 2 Corinthians 3:5, when Paul is saying that we don't do anything, it's all God who does it. And so I know that my time in the Philippines, it was all God. Because the people that I ministered to, he was already doing work in their hearts before I even met them. And it was kind of like, this God's going this way, and I just came in for a little bit, helped them know Jesus more, and now he's going to work in their life still. And so I know that the work wasn't in vain. And through all the trials, through all the humidity, through all the bugs, through all the bug bites, through all the high cholesterol food and high blood pressure and thinking that I had a tumor at one point because I had so many headaches, all that was worth it, because the people, they found Christ. And there were so many more people that I ministered all the time that I know that that's not in vain either. So there's probably some people that are going to be, wow, this is what God did through Mark, and I'll never know it. And I'm just so thankful for my experience in the Philippines. And like I said, yeah, it was tough, but it was so worth it, because the eternal investment that I made in it, nothing compares to it, because it's Jesus. Jesus does it all.